I see you again.
Just walking in here and seeing these cases, God, you got an unbelievable setup here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we try and make it look like a gallery. It's a lot of work on the front end.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. Colors, unbelievable.
Thank
so
you.
should we start perhaps with this case here?
Let's dive in.
Yeah. This is a hell of a piece. Wonderful.
So it weighs about 2 pounds. It's a fairly significant Kongsberg silver. And as you know, the silvers of this kind of mass really came out mostly hundreds of years ago. People say that, but it's rare that we can prove it. So interestingly, this came out at an auction in Amsterdam in the 1960s.
Okay.
And see this?
Yeah.
These are solders where it was attached to a presentation platter.
Wow.
And this would have been a gift given to royalty.
Okay.
At the time, it was in the family, and they said that it was in their family by the 1700s.
Wow.
And Copenhagen was actually a duchy or a relation to the Crown of Norway. So this makes sense.
Yes, it
and,
does.
And the grandson then of the man who bought this, which he called the Dragon,
Yeah.
in the 60s, separated it from the presentation platter and sold the platter at Christie's.
Oh.
And kept this as a souvenir.
Can't blame them because people wouldn't relate to the silver itself, how important the specimen itself is important. And here you got it on the plate, and here you got the silver. That's fabulous.
They sold the plate.
Yeah.
Apparently for something like 50 or 60,000, and the silver, which is worth much more, went on the mantelpiece.
Exactly. That's fantastic. I love it.
It's a nice context.
Wonderful. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
This was specifically arranged by Federico Pezzata. It was the largest such crystal that they found in digging about 2002, 2003, to use as an illustration of the changes of the crystal.
Yeah.
So watch, that's one, and here I'll go 2 slices up, and look how different the pattern's going to be if you hold them up.
You see that? So there are only 2 slices different. It shows the variance when this was forming, and with the solutions and elements, the changes. Look at that. That is incredible.
Yeah. There's another one from the top of the crystal.
Oh, yeah, that's more diamond shaped. Oh,
yeah, so now the top of the crystal is changing even more.
Yeah, they call them Mercedes style.
And then
look
here's
at
one
that.
slice up.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Africa up there. That's so funny.
Africa.
Look at the shape of that nugget. Isn't that neat?
Actually, it even has Alexandria, the lighthouse, the Gulf.
God, that's fantastic. I assume this is Australia, perhaps?
It's Australian,
yeah, because it's so. You know where I can tell the color?
Yeah.
This is very rich gold. It's a high percentage of gold. It's like in the 90s.
Yes.
96 or something. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It is remarkably Africa-like.
Yeah, it is. That's fantastic. I love it. Ooh, look at that thing.
This is the time to get Tanzanite. The mine won't be around forever.
Oh my God, this is a fabulous opportunity now.
At Arusha, there was a recent conference, and they said the mine is something like 1.5 kilometers deep already. I mean, it's not going to be there forever.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fabulous crystal.
Is that good?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's with no fancy lighting. It's big.
That's right.
It glows well. Actually, before we close this up, I was going to show you one thing I think might surprise you.
Sure.
I know you used to work for Rex Harris back in the Red Barrel mine.
Oh, very much so. For several years.
Let me show you.
Holy cow.
Let me show you what turned up in an old stash.
Oh my God. There's about 4 carats. There's 3.5 carats. Yeah. Holy cow.
That's
the best cut stone I've ever seen.
What, really?
Oh yeah, by far. The cleanliness in this size.
See, I thought there was an 8-carat stone and a 4-carat stone out there.
I've never got to see him. He bought a piece of rough. It was 200. No, he was asking 200,000 for the crystal, but it wasn't really a great crystal. And what happened? They decided to have it cut, and the cutter had a problem. It would have produced a 7-carat stone, but it broke. So that's where the 3 and 2.
So that's where the rumor of that large stone came from.
That is correct. That is correct. This is a killer stone. Holy cow.
See, I don't have the context. I wasn't around then.
That's right.
But you would rank that among the very best.
By
Or
far.
the best.
one I've personally seen. I never did see the finished cut of those other ones. What does this, did they say what it actually weighed?
It's
I'm guessing.
3.1 carat.
I wonder if this is,
Could it be one of those?
I guarantee it has to be.
It was that rare.
Oh, horribly rare. Look at this color. Killer color. That is a fabulous thing.
You were involved in this as well, right?
I had 35 of these things at one time, and I brought them to the Northwest Federation show. Northeast, excuse me, I said Northwest. Northeast Federation show.
Detroit?
No, it was actually in Boston, and it blew them away. They couldn't believe this case I put up with these things. Yeah, I actually bought the majority of these blue caps of the important ones from Bill and Ed.
That was probably a wise decision. For 20 years, these smithsonites came out of Schwa.
That's right.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
And everyone says, well, there's more every year.
Yeah, that's kind of common.
And it's
that.
Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that valuable.
Yeah.
And now they're gone. This is the collection of Carrie Cooper, doctor in Phoenix.
Very
part
good.
of it. And he put this together over about 20 years.
Fantastic.
One mine.
Never have seen this before. Literally
Yeah.
a collection, like you say.
I like this one.
Yeah, that with that knot on it. Look at that thing. Isn't that neat? Has
Now-
a little violet running in there.
Now what happens is often you'll see these turn up at mineral shows relabeled as Kelly smithsonites
That's
from New
right.
Mexico
Yeah,
at 2 or 3 times the price.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to look at the matrix.
Oh yeah, you could tell right away from the matrix. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so I have
Really neat.
there were about 60 pieces. And
Okay.
every one of the 60 pieces is different. We have some at our other venues.
Yeah,
also.
exactly. The color of that, look at that.
So, you talk again about the undervaluing of minerals from Mexico and of minerals where things are coming out.
Yeah.
This turned up in a European collection, and he found it on eBay for $500 from a dealer in Europe.
That? You see that?
Yeah, you never know.
Oh,
You never
yeah.
know. It pays to look.
Eye-catching. What is what is this here?
More smithsonite.
Oh, it's a secondary overgrowth. Okay. Look at that. That is so neat. Look at the size of that. God, back in my early days, you never saw anything like this.
I saw one from your collection with a label from the 70s from
That's
Idaho.
right. Yeah,
It was
it
about
like
that
that.
big.
Oh, that was the cat's meow back then. You're just lucky to get one. Look at this. Talking about a museum-type specimen. That is really neat.
The style in this pocket is very diverse in terms of aesthetics. There's flat plates, 3-dimensional pieces. But I think in general it'll be known for these robust
Now, this is what you
clockwork.
call the epitome
crystals.
of a miniature killer specimen because of the size of the crystals, the luster, color. Boy, what a miniature specimen. They'd die for this to have in their collection. Yeah, that's a killer. There's another jewel.
And a piece like that would be $1,000.
Yeah.
That's
what's so
There were a
good about
lot
it.
of them found.
That's
Everybody
right.
can own a
That's
really
right.
nice one.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, just another beautiful miniature. This is what you call a small miniature.
We're in a remarkable time because, say, 10 years ago even, this would have been sold in the big geode as a decor piece.
That's right.
And today the specimen is worth more than that. It was
got it.
about a 400-kilo geode.
You see that?
And the economics of mineral collecting have changed enough that it's worth them destroying this big decorator
That's
piece
right.
to extract a good
got
piece,
it. You
a good
got it.
specimen.
That's 100% correct.
I think you recognize from the old days, one of the
like
old
an
Pedinera. from the-
Pediners, yeah, look
early
at that.
mining.
Yeah, look at that. That's a nice thick crystal of that.
Yeah. So it's funny, I own this twice. I just repatriated it from Australia, where it's been living for the last 10 years.
That's funny. Yeah, it's a beauty.
This is special. This is actually a Himalaya mine
I was
tourmaline.
going to say, that looks awful California looking. Now I'm just saying this, I don't know for sure. This is the longest Himalaya tourmaline I've seen from the Himalaya mine. I don't remember seeing a longer one.
I think
That
it
thing
might
has to
be.
be 10 and a half. Yeah, I'd say about 10 inches to 10 and a half. I've seen them fatter, thicker crystals, but the length, it's the longest one I've seen. Somebody's showing me.
Yeah, I think it's about 12 inches.
Is it 12 inches?
And doubly terminated.
I got a measuring thing real quick here. Tell you that, because that's important, the size of this thing.
Let's see who was right. 11 inches.
11.
We're both right.
You're over and I'm under. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we're both right. No, that's a hell of a thing.
I'll show you one more piece. Now, it's not cleaned. It's straight from the mine.
Okay.
These were mined 2 months ago.
Okay, 2 months.
For my taste, this is the best from the pocket.
Oh my God.
Now, understand it's dirty.
Oh, yeah, this is
Look at his face.
Unbelievable.
I'm worried you're going to drop it. You're so stunned.
I can't believe this thing. This is better than what I saw at Munich about 15 years ago. They had one that was a little longer, just one killer. That I never forgot that. This beats it. Look at the size of this crystal. And when you get this cleaned
almost 2
up,
inches.
Exactly. When you get this good, you got to hang on to this thing. That's a very valuable thing. Holy cow. Can't believe that thing.
And you know what's fascinating? That's what it looks like in the mine when they pull it off the wall.
Exactly.
There you go.
Oh, that is wonderful. To me, that's the epitome of vanadinite. Holy cow, I have that in a heartbeat. I wouldn't care if I had 1,000 of them. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
No,
I was stunned also. So as long as we're talking about new finds, I do have one thing. It's not ready to put out at the show. I'm working on getting the remainder out of China, and I have to display them. But you want to see something, I think, truly surprising? I'm curious to see your reaction. Stay right here. Okay. Is it okay in front of the case? Or should we do it on the couch?
Yeah, get it over here in the light. There we go. Get this right in the light. This is beautiful. Yeah, I got wind of these chalcosites. That's a perfect miniature.
What do you mean you've heard about them? I was trying to keep it secret.
Not these. But look at this. But I heard there was a discovery of them. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is on calcite. They're chalcosites with apparently just a micro thin layer of chalcopyrite on top that gives them the iridescence.
Fantastic.
That's the best miniature. And I'm going to show you here a remarkable thing. I mean, this is like nothing I've ever seen.
It's wonderful. And when were these found, do you think?
A couple months ago. And honestly, I don't know where. I've heard 3 different versions of a mine name or a county in China.
Oh, I see.
I'm not saying.
But they are Chinese.
They are Chinese.
Okay.
And eventually we'll get a mine name. It's a new location.
Fantastic.
Show you one more.
Well, now that's exciting. I can't think of anything of a new mineral coming out, totally different, that hasn't been on the market until these. Think of it. Is there anything that you've seen that's new? See, the vanadinites, this is another new pocket, but it's been around. Never seen this before.
This is wild.
Yeah, totally off the wall. Look at that.
Now, these are some of the better pieces. But, you know, even the smaller ones are the same, this crazy style.
Yeah, fantastic.
Ugh. That, my friend, is a pyrite from the Tanzanite mine.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it.
30 pounds.
I can't believe it. From the Tanzanite. I thought you were going to say it's from Peru or something like that, or Elba, some exceptional thing. Never seen anything. You know, I've seen some pyrite coming out of there, but nothing like that. That's a hell of a thing.
It's ridiculous,
This is a major museum specimen. See, a lot of people don't know that. Sometimes the localities really does it all. Because not only it's a fine crystal, but coming from the Tanzanite locality, that size, that quality, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Christophe,
how are you, Dave? Good to see you again.
Nice seeing you.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. You know, it's the 7th year now.
Oh my
I'm
God.
telling everybody, I can't believe it. But boy, it just gets better and better and better. And we're seeing some fantastic things here. I see all these pyrites, so you were telling me this is the new find from Elba?
Yeah,
very nice.
They have been mining last summer, and they opened a very nice pocket of this new
Take
pyrite.
your favorite one out there. I don't know if it's the big one.
There is a lot of them that I love. But that one is really a super piece.
Yeah, let's see that.
Can see with the hematite.
Yeah, perfect crystal.
Yeah.
And it's very important to get these in the condition. And when they're perfect, they're really very desirable on the matrix.
The luster is really great.
Yeah.
Here also you have a fantastic
little
single
floater one there.
Yeah, the floater one.
Yeah.
You can check on the back.
Yes.
You can see the hematite was green very.
Oh yeah, right there.
And
That's
it was
right.
so heavy that
It's totally complete. It's totally complete. Yeah.
So it was a real major find. It's a huge window. It's really a fantastic piece.
That's a major museum piece.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
And there is a story about this piece because the climbers found the Gwindel. No, it was the Gwindel first. In 2009, they found the Gwindel, and the year after they went again to check, and they found the group.
Wow, would you
And
believe
at that time, they did not realize that the Gwindel was fitting on the group.
Oh, that's
And it's
so
only when
funny.
they bring back the piece that they realize that it was
belonged
one
on
piece.
that.
Yeah.
How about
So
that?
so the pocket collapsed million years ago.
Yes.
And the two pieces have been unified again.
That's fantastic.
This year. So no,
Talking
it's-
about a
it's really
marriage
cool.
there. Yeah, I love
It's
that.
really something. This piece. Yeah.
I happen to like uranium minerals, so I'm going to point out you got a big tourmaline from Musonoi there. That's a
It's
hell
an
of a
old piece.
specimen.
It's
Yeah,
a very
that's gotta
old.
be old.
It's a very old piece. It has been found in the 70s.
Yes.
And it had been offered to a diplomat.
Oh.
He was working in the Congo
Okay.
about it might be around 40 years ago.
Was this Obanish by any chance?
No,
Okay,
no.
it's another guy.
No.
Okay.
It's another guy.
Yeah.
And the son sold me the piece
Oh,
after
that's
40
nice.
years. So.
Good for you. This is catching my eye. It's just so white,
Yeah.
pure white. It's the calcite from Italy. Isn't
It's
that beautiful?
anhydrite, yeah. It's an anhydrite, but yeah, I'm not used to get some white minerals,
Yes.
but that one was really special.
Beautiful.
It's an old classic from Italy,
Anhydrite,
from
yeah,
Campiano
okay.
Mine, and it was in the Fioravanti collection.
Okay, that's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was just calcite. No, it's andrite.
yeah.
God, fantastic. You have two fine Cuproscadowskites, I see. Boy, that's rare to see two in a room like that. Yeah, you're lucky to see one, but to see two like that, that's fantastic.
Actually, it's a new find from last year.
Okay.
The guy were working on old blocks. Same, it's blocks who have been mined in the 70s.
That's what they say. And then they break them open, they find out they've got these pockets. That's the way I was told. So there is truth to that. Okay.
So it's a new find on old blocks.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
It's an old classic from Volodarsk, Topaz.
Okay.
We're more used to find Heliodors.
Yeah, that's a
But
big
there is-
crystal from there. Yeah. Okay.
Also a new find from Morocco.
Okay.
There's blueberite came out about 6-8 months ago.
Oh,
and they have been
okay.
collecting them. Most of them were very damaged or colorless.
And what
or
is the
light
locality?
Blue. It's from Erashidia in Morocco.
Oh, Morocco.
Yeah,
Okay. Now you said you have some surprises to show. I always like to look at the surprise.
This year it's not in the bathroom. But
People think we're crazy. We go to the bathroom and say, "What the hell's going on?"
It's just some baby specials. Here I have.
Okay. That Bisbee?
Yeah.
It is Bisbee.
Yes, it's Bisbee actually.
These
it's
are
from,
so hard to get a hold, especially when you have the rosettes on the contrasting malachite.
Yeah.
And Bisbee, period, it's just hard to get anything.
comes
because,
from
it's
a famous collection.
classic, world classic locality. And you say it comes from a collection.
Yeah, from Ed David collection.
Oh, very good. Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Again, something new. It's
Oh, yeah, the dioptase. Yeah, this is a
dioptase
new...
from the Congo,
Yeah,
from the French Congo.
And they're
actually,
really
yeah.
good because they're such an intense green with a touch of blue, it seems like.
Very close to
Yeah.
Tsumeb quality.
Yeah, just wonderful.
Most of them had not a great luster. And
That's right.
That one,
This has
the
a
one on the
luster.
quartz,
Yeah.
were the one who had the very best luster.
Yeah.
and the good geminus.
I love the contrast with the matrix too. That's very pretty.
Yeah. And here, it's really a piece of jewel. It's a smoky quartz from Switzerland.
This is fabulous.
Yeah, the quality.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, and the quality.
It looks like you just made it in a lab and put it on a slab. Would you believe this thing? Yeah, light that up. Yeah, this is a killer.
You can catch the color with the
flawless.
camera,
the quality. It's unbelievable.
That's really.
Now I've seen some loose peat, but it was wonderful to get this and trim it up and get it on a matrix like that. That is absolutely beautiful. Very good. Well, once again, every year you always have something to share with us.
Thank you, Dave. You do a great job with Brian.
Well, we try.
Thank you.
Yep. Steve.
Hi, David.
How you doing?
It's a pleasure.
Yep.
So it was. It's special times. I always look forward to your visits every year to our room, and you're looking great.
Well, I'm hanging in there, and Brian and I are just having a ball getting this all together. And there's always something new and different, and I hear of new things, and I'm sure you've got some things in here you want to discuss with us. But one thing I want to say right now, you've got some tourmalines in here. I want to make a statement. And Brian, if you can film this one here. Now, the reason I wanted Brian to do that, to have these somewhat together, say, Paprock has produced some unbelievable tourmaline.
Yes,
a lot of people just don't quite realize these things are not going to last.
No, they are not.
And somebody told me that the Paprock location is kind of like petered out now.
And the last year and a half, they've completely dried up in the supply line in there. And while a few things are coming out from other pegmatites in Afghanistan, Paprock is pretty well shut down as far as tourmaline production.
Very interesting. Very good.
These are incredible calcite blades, if you will.
Yes.
Nice flattened hexagonal outline, and then they're covered completely with a little druze of quartz.
Okay.
And so you get this beautiful sparkly surface from the druze of quartz that's covered these. So, and they're matrix specimens. They're sitting on an earlier generation of quartz, and they're just lovely little specimens.
Yes.
But this locality is churning out thousands and thousands of different specimens. They're the best ilvites, in my opinion, that have ever come on the planet.
I've never seen anything like it.
They're huge crystals.
Yeah,
I've got a couple pieces in this case over here. You get the super luster crystals up to 4 or 5 inches tall, and on plates of porcelain gray quartz crystals. A little bit of calcite association. They're just gorgeous mineral specimens. And you know, ilvite from so many localities, they tend to get rusted, if you will.
Yes,
they
I've
get
seen
oxidized,
that.
and they don't have this brilliant luster.
That's right.
So they've got the black color and just a really brilliant luster. This
and
one
very rare to get them on matrix, other than
really
this locality, to have them right on the matrix.
So it's the Wongong area. Just incredibly large ilvite, lustrous, well-formed crystals of ilvite on matrix.
Incredible.
And we've got some of the most beautiful pieces that I've seen coming out of this area.
Absolutely wonderful.
And then on either side of this big ilvite that you're filming right now, there's a habit of manganoan, kind of a discoidal habit of manganoan calcite. And the Wongong area is really cool because they are blessed with a lot of manganoan calcite, a lovely pink that fluoresces kind of a orangish red. And there have to be 12 or 15 different distinct crystal habits for the manganoan calcite from there. This particular piece that's in the cabinet next to it shows more of a stacked rhombohedral habit and some quartz crystals around it. And again, from the Wongong mine area in Inner Mongolia, China.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, just beautiful. Vibrant pink and nice quartz crystal association. So we've been talking a little bit about what's new in HOT. But, you know, the Collector's Edge purchases a lot of collections from all over the world, and I wanted to show you a few things that we have in the back room
That's why we're here.
that are from an old collection from Europe, and they're pretty special pieces.
Very
So
good. We'll do
take
that.
a look at those. Well, before we get
Look at this.
before we get started
Oh,
on the
gotta recognize Uremeavites, huh?
these
Am I
are
right?
Uremeavites. They surely
Holy
are.
cow.
And these are a special
Oh, my
grouping.
God.
Brian was over in Namibia. We're doing quite a bit of activity in Namibia,
okay.
supporting mining in the Orongo area and in the
Okay.
Cocoveld. We've had our mining crews go over and teach how to use our extraction
think of
equipment,
that. Okay.
and so we're doing some great things in Namibia and South Africa.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
But in the Orongo a few years ago, there was a few pockets of some pretty spectacular blue Uremeavite crystals, and this is a nice. Oh gosh, you're looking probably 2.5 inches tall. here.
Yes.
And well terminated,
Oh, it's
glassy.
beautiful.
Beautiful specimen. This one, I'd say about an inch and a quarter, inch and a half.
Inch and a quarter,
Beautifully terminated and nicely gemmy. But the one
This
I
thing.
really wanted you to see, this
my
one, of course,
gosh.
has a few repairs on it, David.
that's okay.
But
Oh, my God.
that one's kind of a monster. It's
Oh, it's unbelievable. Let
yeah,
me
it's
have
the
that a
largest
second.
one I've ever.
I won't run out of
See.
here with it.
Yeah.
Look at this. I had one that was a little bigger than this, like that.
Uh-huh.
These are the best I've ever seen. I've never
Yeah,
seen
thank
anything
you.
like this. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
I always
a beautiful
wondered
collection.
because they said they never really got to the pocket right. A lot of it seemed like it was close to the surface when they got these things. And this is wonderful. And when you explained that very well, too, what's going on in there. Look at that.
Isn't that lovely?
See, I've
Really
never seen
gemmy.
one that's actually a cluster. See, this
Yeah.
is kind of a
Yeah.
cluster
Yeah.
type. Never seen this. And so gemmy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
Really
fantastic.
gemmy and lustrous, glassy luster.
Oh,
That's what I love
wonderful.
about these. So
They're
many times the
beautiful.
early Uremeavites you saw
Kind
were
of frosted,
solution
yeah.
edge.
That's right,
You know, they were a
exactly.
little frosty, but these
Yeah.
are really spectacular.
Oh, they're great. That's
Well, we wanted
wonderful.
to also show you a few classic German specimens.
Okay.
I love this particular one. I just absolutely adore because it's got color that's off the charts. And you know, when you
who's
talk about the Freiburg,
cow.
you talk about the Freiburg area, and with these incredible rich red colors of the Proustite, silver-bearing mineral.
Yep.
This is from Niederschlema, and just incredible cluster. Maybe one of the biggest in the United States. Just an amazing mass of Proustite, and you see that
Top
incredible
color.
red
Pigeon
color.
blood red.
Yeah, just beautiful. Need a little pyrite to go along with it. So,
Oh, yeah.
So these are some
Fine crystals. Look at that.
incredibly large crystals from the same Saxony area
Right.
in Germany.
Yeah.
And big crystals of the pyrite.
That's wonderful. Oh,
Look
yes.
at the crystal development on this one, David.
Oh, my God.
Isn't
I
that
gotta get my
beautiful?
glassy out of the detail. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is
I
really
love
a special
native
piece.
Yeah, native bismuth is so hard to get. Look at this thing. Yeah, look at the razor sharp crystal.
isn't that amazing?
Fans. That's a major bismuth.
Well, thank you for taking
Well,
a
this
look,
is
David.
great. Well, you always have wonderful things to show us, and we look forward to seeing them. Needless to say.
Thank you for
Keep on
coming up and
doing
seeing us.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks a lot, Steve. I
All
really
right.
appreciate it.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave, I'm meaning to mention something to you. We
What's
got
that?
a little bit of a problem developing. I'm meeting you in hotel rooms in Tucson once a year. My wife is starting to wonder. Yeah.
Holy cow.
She thinks it's
How
a little more than minerals.
embarrassing.
Isn't that embarrassing?
Oh, my
I
goodness.
love you. So you want to see some good rocks?
Yeah, let's see some good rocks for 2013.
Okay. This is a Italian sulfur.
Oh, yeah.
And you could tell everything about it
Oh,
because
that's
you're the man.
fantastic. I mean, talking about textbook crystal, isolated and so well balanced on the matrix and just flaring off it like this, the stem here.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, this is wonderful. This is literally quite a bit better than I had a real killer, but it was just a single crystal. But to get two like this and the shooting off, gemmy, and what's important about these, it's so hard to get them without a crack running through.
I know.
These, no cracks.
And the color's
no
nice, you know, not a
color's
lot of
tops,
occlusions.
top color. That's fabulous. I love that.
This is a common mineral in an uncommon assemblage from Yagansen.
Arsenopyrite.
But the size
look
of them
at
doubly
that.
turn, and you know, nature throws a little fluoride on there just to add a little extra to it.
I know exactly what you got here. Holy cow. No, I've seen some of these. These things are unbelievable.
We are in the golden age right
God.
now.
Oh,
I'm telling you, some of the
absolutely.
things we're seeing from
It's the
China.
best arsenopyrite I've ever seen is this group. And this one here is just the perfect hand size one.
It's just
with the
perfect.
low
Nice,
fluoride
tight.
quartz. Oh yeah, that thing is fantastic.
This is new material.
That's what I hear.
And I think that's unbelievable, if I might say so myself.
It's one of the best. There's a couple of these things are fabulous.
It's
This
just
is a
ridiculous.
hell of. It just gets better.
It is.
And better.
We are so
and better.
lucky to
Never
live in
saw
this
anything
time.
like it. That's absolutely a jewel. Definitely one of the best.
This is another find from years ago. And this is considered, from what I've heard, the best one of this. This is an epidote quartz from Peru.
Oh, from Peru.
Peru.
Okay.
And the white and the dark, and the juxtaposition, it appeals to the artist in
It's
me.
totally different than
Yeah.
anything from Austria and a couple of the other localities. And one thing I like about it, I think I've seen some Peruvian epidotes, but the problem, they're laying down, like this, laying down a lot.
Yes,
but,
it's got a nice fan.
yeah, very good.
You want to talk about cotton candy or Christmas lights? That's what I think about with this piece. Again, it's not a major mineral specimen that you're going to see in the Icons book, but it's so pretty.
That's what we're
What do you
looking
think of
for.
that, Dave?
Oh my God, this is gorgeous. You got chalcopyrite over calcite crystal, iridescence of several colors here. Have you counted the colors in this thing?
I count 6 or 7,
Holy cow.
but I'm jaded, so I'll let you count.
Yeah.
I'm not jaded, I'm biased.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is beautiful.
Isn't that just a pretty thing?
Now here
It's
you
just
have
a
a
pretty
common
thing.
mineral, but because of this iridescence, and look at that. I mean, that is intense. And they just flare out all over. If it was just a calcite, it'd be so-so. But with that type of iridescence of that chalcopyrite growing over it, you'd love to know what I guess it's microchemistry that made the chalcopyrite the different colors.
This is a classic American piece.
Okay.
You're gonna recognize this locality.
my God,
That is
look
so
at this.
weird. Again, some
Tri-state
chalcopyrite.
area?
It's Missouri. Yeah.
Missouri, yeah. Okay.
But isn't that for a Sweetwater? Isn't that just
Beautiful.
interesting and different?
Beautiful calcite, chalcopyrite, quartz. Holy cow.
For the sci-fi geek, this looks a little bit like a Borg spaceship.
And it's all perfect. There's no breaks in this. That's beautiful.
Again, it's a
That's why I
common
love
mineral.
doing
Yeah,
this.
it's a common mineral.
Don't go by that. When it's good, it's good. Regardless
Absolutely.
if it's a common mineral, rare mineral, whatever you have. That's a fine example of a specimen. Gorgeous. How could you ever put a thing down like that?
This was in the American Treasures case.
Beautiful.
You know,
Kelly?
it's a Kelly.
Yeah,
And it's
beautiful.
got
New Mexico.
form, it's got bicolors.
a
It's
jewel of a
different.
thing,
It's just something different.
Yeah.
I love that piece.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece.
Even the white has banding.
Yeah.
And then you've got this color offset. It's just,
That's rare to see that.
It is rare.
That's why
That's
the
rare.
one reason you like it. Another reason I like it is the way this is all not crystallite, the betrothal kind of wrapping back and everything.
Yeah.
And if the free form of it, no, that's a jewel of a thing.
I love that.
Very different.
It's very different.
Very different. It isn't your typical this. Like that. I've seen big pieces just
Yeah.
like this section here, but this has wonderful composition here.
that's what we like.
Yep. That's a beauty. What do you got there?
That is just a combination piece. I'll let you.
Annotates.
Annotates with a fun.
With the quartz, a Fadden quartz is what that is. I've never heard of such a
I
thing.
know.
You see these Fadden quartzes. Is that from, it isn't the same locale?
Pakistan.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, Pakistan.
Very unusual to get that.
You know what's funny when
God.
you in this situation you've got a very fine Fadden. I mean, it's a Fadden. It's not something by itself that would mean a lot.
That's right.
And you have very fine annotates because they're all not any
Perfect.
damage on it,
Yeah,
and the
perfect.
luster is perfect on every face, which is actually pretty rare on a taste.
Exactly.
But when you
Here,
put them
the
together,
combination.
yeah, when you put them together, it's
yeah.
like, what the heck?
Never seen it?
Absolutely. I've never seen one.
Yeah. This is gorgeous. Aquamarine with smoky quartz.
Topaz.
I said aquamarine, smoky quartz, yeah, and then the topaz. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there. But anyway, what you have here is this combination. In the last few years, never in the history of mineralogy have so many wonderful minerals come out of the ground that are in clusters of different gem crystals on one rock. Try to get a kunzite on matrix 35, 40 years ago, is on clay. And here you got the aquamarine, you got the champagne colored topaz, smoky quartz, white albite, all in one rock. Beautiful specimen.
It's like a beautiful buffet.
Yeah, beautiful. Always a pleasure. Keep up the good work, and you always have surprises to show us.
Thank
and
you
I
for what you're doing.
Appreciate it. Well,
Thank you for what you're doing.
Appreciate it. Hi, Ro.
Dave, how are you?
Fine.
Good to
How are
see
you doing?
I want to show you something that I just got
Okay.
maybe 30 minutes ago.
You're kidding. Okay.
No,
Ooh.
it's from Pakistan.
Ooh, wow. A fluorite.
Yeah.
And not only just a fluorite from Pakistan, bicolored, two
Bicolored,
colors, and
gem.
sharp and gemmy.
Right.
It's a killer.
And on matrix.
And on
The blue.
matrix, some matrix, yeah.
Right.
You have muscovite. It's green and pink.
Yeah.
That's the epitome of fluorite. That's a jewel of a thing. It's the finest miniature I've seen of
Yeah.
this type.
Mine too.
Oh, it's
Me too.
unbelievable.
And it was very dear, but I had to have it.
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame you. And you just got this?
30 minutes ago?
Oh, for Pete's sake. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
Keep up the good work. I'm sure
I
glad you
appreciate
brought
it.
that to our attention. Yeah.
I
Beautiful.
love it. Very happy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Brian.
Dylan,
Dave, how are you?
you have a specimen right here on the floor from the Jonas Mine. I've never seen anything like this where you have basically a very fine specimen. It isn't like a broken up chunk and it's just a decorative chunk of rock. It's actually a beautiful quartz crystal with some of the Jonas tourmalines, the lepidolite. It's beautiful. Yeah, the lepidolite wraps around the bottom.
There's a 7-inch crystal right here,
Right in there.
right on the side. Yep.
Oh, too bad you can't pull it out of there.
You could, but you would hack the piece up. And
Oh
that'd
yeah,
be,
yeah. You can't
be a
because
tragedy.
that lepidolite gets right into the crystal in most cases. But the point I'm trying to make, when you have big specimens like this, it has its own quality to it that you have it as a bragging rock in a beautiful home as they come in the foyer of the house and you have this gorgeous thing setting up. So we must compliment when we see things like that. If it's a regular quartz crystal, forget it. Beautiful. Oh, they produce wonderful stuff. You got the feldspar, the calcite with the beautiful fluorite. That's a beautiful big
Sphalerite.
stuff. Yeah, look at that clump of sphalerite crystals. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Very showy. And that's a wonderful combination piece group. It's like a lizard.
This is the best champion mine silver I have ever seen. It's
wild.
It does look like a lizard. It looks like an iguana.
An iguana, yeah.
this
That would
is-
be good, yeah.
An incredible cluster of spinel twins.
Oh, yeah. Bring that right out. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, this thing's a beautiful thing. Look at this.
Look at all the spinel twins.
Yeah.
Have you seen a better champion mine?
Never seen this type. I've seen other types, but this really takes on an effect, and it has all that wonderful crystallization to it. Oh, that's a wonderful
Twin
thing.
upon twin upon twin.
You got it. Oh, it's a superb thing in its own right. It's one of the. Let me answer you this way. It's certainly one of the better ones, and that don't like to go further than that. It's
Right.
too risky. Look at that thing. That's what you call the epitome of a miniature specimen. How does it get better than that? Look at that. Octahedron, fine light emerald green, the matrix, perfect balance. That's a jewel of a miniature. Yeah, I really like that. This is a beautiful thing with the smoky quartz, and this color's richer. It had more of a brown to it for the first few years, and now they're finally coming into their own and producing some very attractive specimens. I'm glad you mentioned that.
What I like about this one is the luster's termination.
Yeah, that pyramidal termination of the luster's fabulous.
Generally, they're basal.
That's right. That's right. No, it's a superb thing. Zero in on that because it's hard to get those.
Yes.
They're always in either too big a matrix, and to get them out nestled right in the group of single points like that, that's a lovely specimen.
Yes, it is.
It's hard to get that. So that everything's beautiful in
Thank
your
you,
room. You mentioned you had something else to
I have
show
a
us?
couple beautiful specimens I'd like to share with you.
Oh, good. Okay. Beautiful. Now, when these are perfect, they really are jewels. But if they're nicked, kiss of death. But this is perfect. There's no damage on this. And you can tell right away. You can see a cleavage knocked off top or bottom of the crystal. Yeah, perfect, complete scalehedron. Yeah, it's a lovely thing. Oh, yeah. Is that Guerrero?
That is.
Boy, that's nice with the calcite.
Yes.
I can't remember ever seeing that with calcite on it like that.
Nor I.
And double terminate in beautiful color. And you don't have all the cloudiness that clouds them up so much.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's a superb thing. That's a major thing. Love that. Definitely one of the better ones I've ever seen. You got an important specimen here. Holy cow. See, the thing about this, you get the flashy ones, you know, with the cloudy point, and they're beautiful and in their own right, and it catches their eye and all that, but to a real serious mineral collector, that's a very important specimen. Where do you get that rich, intense purple, double terminated, and for boot, for character, the scalehedron calcite gem.
It's a wonderful thing.
Killer. Oh, very good. Beautiful. Boy, they just toward the end, they've hit the jackpot. They really
This
come
was
up
the
with
last pocket that they found,
Yeah.
and it's just absolutely
just
incredible.
a beautiful
It
piece.
just steps straight up
just
like that.
Yeah,
The
look
color.
at that.
The color
Isn't
is
that beautiful?
incredible. Huge roses.
Yeah, you have that intense blue. And that makes such a difference because there's an azurite. Where's that from? Right.
That's Milpilus as well. I'm going to pull that one out.
Yeah, pull that out and just show the difference in color because they come real dark.
And crystallization, too.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Fabulous crystal, but look at how dark the color is. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's like
I'm going to
black.
bring one more out so that you can see
show three different types
three different
here.
habits here. And this is another pocket.
Okay, yes, I see in this type, yeah.
They call this the electric blue pocket.
Yes.
All
That
very,
is
very,
all
very fine.
right. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Great. Brian?
Hi, Dave. How are you? It's good to see you. I feel like I brought my best assortment of minerals to Tucson this year. I mean, a good diversity of colorful things and rarities and gem crystals and unusual stuff. And I brought new minerals from 5 different continents this
Very
year
good.
to Tucson.
Okay.
So let's go through a few of
Sure,
them.
let's do that.
You're the first one to spot it, and honestly, I was doubting myself when I got this piece. Like, is anybody going to care about this thing? But sometimes it takes a little bit of an old school taste to recognize
This
something
thing
like
is just, it's like a textbook crystal. It's so typical of this material
Absolutely.
when you get it, but there's so little of it.
And it's big and blocky and perfect all the way
Absolutely
around.
fabulous.
Now this is from the classic locality in Mozambique, Alto Lagonia,
Yes.
this very famous pegmatite that produced very little material, and it's nothing coming out today, obviously.
Yeah.
This is actually from Kazakhstan, from
from Kazakhstan.
yeah, from
Okay.
years ago.
Okay.
And this is actually out of my dad's collection.
It's a killer.
And yeah, I mean, you know, you don't think about this kind of stuff in terms of display specimens, but to me, especially for metallic minerals, sulfides and oxides, anything like this, the crystallization is so defined and it's so well formed. You don't see that in a lot of gem minerals typically. And smooth, striated faces, bright luster. My attraction to this kind of stuff is strictly in the crystallization because you don't see this in a lot of other things.
Look at the size of that crystal.
And flip it over. It's actually bigger in the back.
Yeah,
There's more
look at
crystal
that.
to be seen there.
Yeah, I always move it around.
Now this is from Burma, and you know Burma is the quintessential premier locality for spinels worldwide. Spinel is one of those minerals that forms in gem crystals that a lot of collectors don't have a good representation in their collection.
You got it.
You know, it's not a terribly common gem mineral, but a lot of people don't have good spinels, especially matrix spinels.
Right.
You see so many loose floater crystals, and to have something of this size with that beautiful saturated cranberry color, and it just sits perfectly. You know, I mean, you couldn't ask for better display. That's 1.5 inches across and even wider in the back, and complete all the way around. No damage whatsoever. We call this the Trident.
The Trident, isn't that a
very
good
easy
name?
to see why.
Yeah,
and I mean,
absolutely.
Maybe not the sharpest copper crystals in the world,
but they're sharp. They're sharp.
From the standpoint of displayability, you couldn't ask for a better designed specimen. If you were going to sculpt copper into a display piece, you couldn't do much better than this. And either side, flip it around. It's really nice from both sides.
It's a piece of art, is what it is.
Yeah, it really is natural crystal art. This is called Fluorite. And this is from the Bouazer district in Morocco. Fluorite is a copper, iron, nickel arsenate. And just picked this piece up recently. Very well-defined striated prisms on both sides of the specimen. It displays really well from either side. And for my taste, it's one of the best pieces in the size range that I've experienced. I mean, you don't see a ton of these on the market. I did have it tested to make sure it was indeed Fluorite.
Very good.
Sometimes these get labeled as dischrosites by the locals. They don't necessarily know, but I really like this one a lot. So this is from Broken Hill, not the Australian Broken Hill, the Broken Hill in Zambia. And it's a dual generation, I believe. The underlying velvet lavender smithsonite is coated by an additional layer of sort of a peachy orange smithsonite.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and if you flip it over, you can see there's somewhat of a bluish green color. See these concentric bands here, how it grades from the lavender and the orange into the blue-green there.
Sure does.
So
look at that.
This is an old piece out of my dad's stuff.
Okay.
Now there's a couple pieces in the back. Do you want to head back there and take a look at them?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
About
8 or 9 years ago, there was a find of these crystals, these little floater penetration twins. Originally, I thought they were stanites. And I sold one to a collector who ended up selling it to another collector down here in Tucson. And they were tested, and they actually weren't stanite at all. It was the incredibly rare species ferrokesterite, which is a copper iron zinc tin sulfide. This piece in your hand is one of my favorites. And you turn it towards the camera, and we can show off this 4-way penetration twin that exists right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. I haven't seen another one like this. Now, this is about a toenail-sized piece. It's too big for a thumbnail. Look at this miniature here, Dave. Well balanced on the pyrite with a beautiful spray of zinconite coming off the side.
Wow.
If you wanted better aesthetics, what could you possibly do for this?
Exactly.
You know, it's just as good as it gets all the way around.
That's wonderful.
And these kind of things, even though there's not a lot of color here, the rarity factor is at an 11 because I only know of these in this flat and maybe a couple others that I mistakenly sold as stanites, and there may never be any more of them. For years, Downlegorsk has produced these excellent colorless fluorites. They look like ice cubes almost. And this one, this large cabinet display piece, is just loaded with cubes with dodecahedral modifications on every side. And this is a complete 360-degree specimen. As you turn it around, you can see how the crystals meander over the top and then come back underneath like a snake pattern, like the letter S, just curving all the way around there. This one was recently mined a few months ago in Russia. New material coming out of the ground.
That's a good
seeing you, Dave. Thanks so much.
That's Brian. Appreciate it.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing today?
Doing great.
Allyce, how are you? Nice seeing you again. Every year I come here, this collection grows, you get more stones, and you got such a variety of stones. When I was looking at this, I decided just to make a few comments. So a little while ago, you and I were going through it and everything, and I want to have a little discussion on here. Now, this stone came out, about 20 years or something? Not this particular thing, but the ametrine. And ametrine is in the quartz family of amethyst and citrine. in the one stone. So they gave it the name ametrine.
Right.
And they come out of Bolivia. And as far as I know, unless I'm wrong, but I still think it's the only locality they found commercial ametrine. Is that right? Or have they found any other?
Yes, there's very, very little ametrine around the world that exists at all from other localities, but this is the actual, commercial grade, clean, beautiful material that can be set into jewelry.
Yeah. This is it's like a butterfly.
Yes.
I never saw such a cut. What do they call the cut?
This is a double heart cut. You can see the two clefts right in the top.
Oh, I
there.
see. Yeah, right.
And this particular type of cutting is called concave cutting, and as a matter of fact, it's not flat faceted except for just the table. The facets are concave; they're curved. And
Yes,
that's why
they
you're
are.
getting that radiant light coming out of it.
It's fabulous.
We have a beautiful Yermievite. This is an 8-carat Yermievite. You know, super rare material.
Yeah.
And great bicolor. This is a very hard gem to get a hold of.
Very much
You
so.
know, you only see one of these in a lifetime.
Oh, yeah, they're very rare. Because of the rarity, this is a stone, as Brett had mentioned, extremely rare to get a faceted stone of it. But what I want to point out is that a lot of collectors are collecting these rare stones, and the general public just simply don't know anything about the rare stones. see?
Absolutely.
And they can't understand, well, why isn't this in the store, that in the store? Well, we have hardness, desirability, all these factors come into it.
All right. Well,
Thank
thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Dave, I want to show you a couple of pieces.
Yeah, great.
So I think you know this locality very well, but this kind of etching is quite unusual.
Ooh, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I have to look on both sides.
Look at this.
And the color is nice green.
Beautiful green, and the etching is fabulous on this thing.
That was from 80-meter deep shaft, and they missed the pocket when they did the tunnel, so they came in too high.
Okay.
So there were a few of these really nice, and this is aesthetic. It has the hexagonal etching at the termination.
Absolutely. Look at that. Look at this. Yeah, look at this in here.
And I love this face here, right here.
Yeah, this face
the
is
various
the front.
etching.
Look at that thing. So you just got this here?
Yeah, I got that.
Good for you.
And I have another piece.
Very different.
Yeah. And this is another one, same mine, but look at
This
that.
has yellow in it.
That's deep, deep golden color. And that's from a completely other pocket. In the MR, I described pocket 576 to 55-meter depth, and this is the best from there, this type. You know, you see it's very nice hexagonal, and you still have the pinacoid and just light etching.
That's what's nice. Very light etching. You can see right through it. Look at that. Yeah, you can see your fingers right through it.
And I have another crazy specimen for you.
Okay.
It's an ugly beast, but you will like it.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Holy cow.
A Barilla Knight. Did you ever see anything like this?
I can't believe a Barilla Knight.
A Barilla Knight.
I thought it was a calcite from.
It's Barilla Knight.
Oh my God! I can't believe
What a good one.
Unbelievable. Barilla Knight's a very rare mineral to get anyway.
And
That
this
size?
delicate platos, usually they're rather chunky.
That's a hell of a thing. And where's this from?
That is from Shengus in Pakistan.
Okay.
So they have some big polycite and some beryllium, but I've never seen such a delicate, large plate before.
I've seen delicate ones, but huge like this. This is really something. It's truly a museum piece.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Dave. See you later.
Thank you very much. Take
Thanks.
care.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Fine.
Good to see
How
you.
are you?
Good.
You told me the other day you got something very special to show us, and when I hear the word azurite, I get excited because
Good. Well, as you know, Milpius produced for 4 or 5 years.
That's right.
Some people consider it to be the finest locality in the world, but certainly it's in the top 3 or 4. Bisbee,
That's right.
Morocco, Chessie, and Milpius.
That's right.
Sumeb, of course. Anyway, these are representative of several different pockets that have come out of Milpius, and they're, generally speaking, they're the best of each pocket. You know, there are maybe 10 or 15 major pockets that came out of Milpius.
Okay. Over the 5 years.
Yeah, over the 5 years.
Yeah.
These represent some of those pockets.
Fantastic.
And Milpius now is finished. They're down into the sulfides. The chance of any more
Yeah,
oxides
the
coming are
secondaries,
pretty slim.
Yeah.
So these are incredibly good azurites.
Yeah.
That's a 3.5-inch doubly
Oh, it's
terminated crystal.
fabulous. Absolutely. Look at this. You know, I heard about these a year ago, but never got to see anything. I mean, I saw a couple cute things. Nobody was showing us any of the great ones, or they were gone, or just they didn't want to show
We,
them.
of course, wanted to keep it as secret as possible
Yes.
to not encourage too much competition.
That's right. Yeah. That is just fabulous. I mean,
Very reminiscent of Sumab, what you
very much like Sumab.
This is similar, not quite like Aho. Some of these are like Aho. This isn't quite like Aho, but it's more like Aho. It's got a flat, where peel off a matrix on the
okay.
back. And
Boy, look at that.
that one's superb.
Oh, it's wonderful. I like that freeness of it.
Yeah.
Look at that, just shooting off.
And they're half, half malachite, half azurite.
very much so.
So if the sunlight was shining, you would see some
see the-
electric blue.
Exactly,
but
at the edges.
But without the sunlight, you don't see that.
Yeah.
But that is another, the best of this type.
Oh,
this is the best.
wow. Never
All
seen
of these
anything
came
like
out of the man Jesus who gets all these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, lives in Mexico, controls the locality. All of these came out of his collection.
Wow.
So they're, and so at different points he'll let go of one piece and then another piece.
Yeah.
So that again is the best of that,
That
type.
type.
This is from a pocket we call the Chispas.
Look at that.
And that one we consider to be,
jewel.
that's probably the best of that pocket.
Oh, my.
And you can see some of the crystals here. You see the electric blue. I mean,
Yes.
just like, they're like Zacatecas azurites,
Exactly.
gem blue.
Exactly.
These are too big to show that color, but the little
Incredible.
ones you can see it. This is another,
Look at this.
Absolutely
thing.
killer.
God, it's like a smoky quartz, but it's azure.
Yeah.
Look at that thing. It's wonderful. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, what
and
a
again, that's
pleasure.
Sumab quality. I mean, that's,
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think Bisbee ever put out anything that
Worldwide,
good.
this
Yeah.
quality is what it is. Ah, unbelievable.
Now this one is kind of reminiscent of Bisbee.
Yes, it
They're
is. Yeah.
kind of bladed rosettes.
Now, you got it. And look at that color. Holy cow. Yeah, it's very much like a Bisbee type.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the size of those crystals. The luster's wonderful.
The color, the luster, just everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's got everything going for it. Boy, what a strike. Fantastic. And then you got
here's-
one with more malachite.
Yeah, this
I
is a
noticed of
4-inch doubly terminated crystal,
Yes.
complete.
Totally
And
complete.
malachite, and then it's got a secondary growth of azurite on
Exactly.
it. So again, in the sunlight, you would get electric
Oh, yeah.
flashes of color through that.
Exactly. Yeah, the sun. If it was out, it could take one of these out, but the sun isn't even out.
Yep, no sun.
Cloudy. But that's fantastic.
But again, these represent the best of what Milpius did
Yes.
for the pockets. There are other pockets that are very different, bladed.
Yeah, I've seen some
Different-
flat plates and everything, but this
other
tells it
pockets
all.
that are different. But this of
Tells
these
it all.
pockets, these are the best. And like I said, nobody knows for sure, but I think there were probably 15 pockets. And you've seen the great brochentites from there.
No, I don't.
I'll get one brochentite
Oh,
and show
yeah,
you.
do that, yeah.
And this is an incredible
Never
brochentite.
saw anything like that. I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's from the same mine.
Yeah, best brochentites in the world.
It's unbelievable. Never seen anything like that.
And I don't know
they're
if
translucent.
They're
too.
translucent. They're like a deep emerald green.
Oh yeah,
But they're completely gem.
that's unbelievable. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, there are 5 or 6 of this type.
Holy.
This is probably number 4 or 5 of that group. There are a couple that are way
see.
better. I've had a couple that
Well,
were
at least we
not
got
better.
one.
They're bigger.
Just
not
bigger.
better. Just bigger. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect miniature.
But that is definitely they're the finest brochentites
nothing like it.
by
No.
a factor of
Never seen anything like it. You see a needle like that,
Yeah.
maybe clusters like that, little thin
Yeah,
one, nothing like that. And translucent and deep green.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah, when you mentioned that name, I knew the mineral. I was expecting a cluster
little-
like
little
that.
tiny green needles, yeah,
which would have been
yeah.
nice to show representation of the mine, but that blows me away.
Yeah, these are the
They
best
are the
brochentites,
best. They
yeah.
are the best in the world. Well, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Good work.
Good. Thank you.
I'd like to have this film because it's one of our great museums in the United States, the American Museum of Natural History. And it should be recorded because there are fine specimens, needless to say, but this is from the museum. That Russian one in the center in the back row is my favorite. It's so transparent, it's totally water clear. It's from Delnagorsk. Bob?
Hi, Dave.
How are you?
I'm very good.
Nice
How about
seeing
you,
again.
sir?
It's been
Nice to
years
see
since
you.
we got
It's been
together,
quite a while
since
since we've
the
gotten to
Detroit
talk.
show.
That's right.
That must
yeah.
be 40 years ago.
Oh, God. You're making me
Unbelievable.
feel old, Dave.
Yeah, well, I'm old. You're young.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But he-
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Bob, I remember us talking about the quartz from Washington State and
right.
everything. I do
Yep.
remember that.
Yep.
But now you have come down to Arizona, to Tombstone, and you're doing some field work down there, and you have some choice things to show us.
Well, thank you very much.
through
I
it.
have some fluorite that formed over quartz cast after calcite. So all of these pieces are hollow. And inside there's fluorite, if you look at this one here.
Yes.
So you have a rhombohedron of calcite, quartz formed over the top. And as you can see, looking through the piece, you can
Yes,
see
you can see
fluorite
through
crystals on the inside and the outside. This one, the large one is the same. All of those things that look like calcite scalenohedrons are
Yes.
hollow. You can see the quartz sparkling through.
Yes.
And underneath, there's more fluorite crystals, but of this form. So on the bottom of this piece, which of course you can't see because
Yes.
it's sitting on it, there's octahedrons. On the top, there's negative scalenohedrons.
Fantastic.
That formed over
Now,
the
it's all the
calcite.
purple ones that are
All
from
the purple
Arizona.
ones are from Arizona.
Yeah, okay.
The
all
green
the
ones are
purple
from Canada.
Okay. Boy, this is wonderful. And then you were mentioning these two were just recently found, like in January
this
or
group
something?
right over here came out in January. We hit the scalenohedral pocket, and this was about 8 feet long.
Wow.
So there were a lot of little pieces and this one big one. This was upside down in the pocket when I opened the pocket. And it was just a limestone cap. I could tell that it was hollow. I'd done some blasting on the top.
Yes.
It was obviously hollow, and I reached underneath thinking it was just a limestone cap.
Exactly.
You know? Turned it over in my hand
You
and
almost
went,
fainted.
well, you probably heard the noise, you know.
Well, I
It was-
always appreciate talking with those that personally collect and mine for minerals, and it's a wonderful thing that you guys do, finding
you so
these
much.
things and digging them out yourself. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you
did
so
a fine
much.
job, and I really appreciate you
All
bringing
right.
this to our attention.
All right, and I hope you come see us.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing?
Good to see you. This is a pocket of kunzite that was discovered last year in Afghanistan during the summertime. And it came down off the mountain, and we had the opportunity to purchase the major pieces from this pocket. And when it came to us, it needed a little bit of cleaning, but it was almost exactly like you see it. I'd never seen such a large, perfect kunzite on matrix in all the time I've been in business. So
right.
for more than 30 years, I haven't seen such a thing.
Exactly.
I've seen bigger kunzites, I've seen many, many different colors of kunzites, but as a package together, I'd never seen something like
You were
this. So this is a
100%
unique-
right, because when you were just finishing up setting up, when I walked by that, it stopped in my tracks immediately, because it is a huge kunzite with the quartz and a gemmy smoky quartz. Usually you just see the opaque quartz, but you have the gemmy one with the albite. It's absolutely a killer. I have to comment on the color of this stone here, this
Stone.
parachute. That thing is just screaming. It almost looks like a spinel,
Yeah,
but
it looks
it's
like a
tourmaline.
giant. It's a tourmaline. It looks
Yeah,
like a giant spinel.
exactly.
That's one of the highlights in our booth this year. Is
Yeah,
that stone.
it's just wonderful.
And
It caught my-
people walk by, and it's such bright, vibrant color.
Exactly.
It grabs them.
Yeah.
Brings them to the case.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Boy, killer color. The ajoite in a cluster like this with all these points having the ajo. You see singles, you might see a double, but these clusters, that's an amazing specimen.
That's it.
Absolutely amazing.
This
Love
specimen
that.
is probably about 10 to 15 years old. It
I
came
see.
from this famous location, and
Yeah.
when we purchased the Bauman collection, this was one of the highlights in the collection, in the entire collection, 25,000 pieces. This is one of his best pieces.
You see that?
Yeah. This specimen actually came out quite a while ago.
Okay.
And it was purchased by a Swiss collector. and put in his collection for a long time. I knew of it for many, many years, and when he decided to sell his collection, we had the opportunity to buy that specimen.
Fantastic.
And here's a specimen I wanted to direct your attention to.
Look at this.
We call that the sword and the stone.
Oh.
This specimen came out of the ground about 40 years ago.
Wow, okay.
From the Santa Rosa mine.
Santa Rosa mine. Boy, I remember that 40 years ago, that name. Yeah, very well known.
It was preserved and all this time and stashed away in a private collection. We had the opportunity to purchase it.
Yes.
Very, very lucky opportunity to get this thing.
Unbelievable.
You don't see things like this coming out of Brazil currently.
It's unbelievable.
It's an old-time
that's a
classic.
wonderful, wonderful specimen.
I think the tourmaline measures about 14 inches.
Oh, my God, it's unbelievable. All complete with a whole complete smoky quartz. Keep
Thanks,
up
Dave.
the good work.
It's always fun talking
Thanks
with you.
a lot. Appreciate it. We have here a couple unusual copper specimens of very large size, way above the normal. Not only are they large, but they're very fine mineral specimens. There are very large sheets of native copper that come out of Michigan, but when you get it crystallized in beautiful crystals or forming with another mineral, I'll go over this other one in a minute, but this one here, this thing has to weigh 700 pounds. It's all copper with a little bit of, looks like calcite, but it's very unusual. It is crystallized, all that inside of there coming down like that. I don't think it's just... Okay, then you have another very unusual copper here. Look at the massive, this is all copper at the base. It isn't just rock. See, the copper goes right through with some of the rock, and then this was broken away, and then you have all this, and this probably had to be cleaned. I'm sure it was very dark. I can't believe it was this color when they found it, but that's okay. But it's beautiful imprints of other crystallized minerals of some sort. It might have been crystallized calcite, but this is an extraordinary thing. This specimen has to weigh at least 700-800, maybe a ton, half a ton. It's a very heavy specimen. It's huge. It's at least 3.5 feet tall. Very aesthetic type of copper. You just don't see this in copper where they have any type of crystallization or anything like that. Okay, we have a magnificent case of one locality fluorite collection here, and it's the best assemblage of fluorite from Clay Center, Ohio that I have seen, period. There's all different types in here from this locality, and it's absolutely a marvelous example. These brown fluorites are actually a rare color. You don't see brown fluorite very often, but from Clay Center, it seems to be the classic locality for the majority of any fluorite that's colored brown. Then you have it with these celestine blades with the fluorites in between them. Here you have the smaller crystals scattered about in the matrix. Then you have the larger crystals like the one in the center. Then you have a huge brown one over there. But there's just a lot of fine brown crystals. Then some of these unusual ones, such as these, with a slight iridescence to them. I've never seen that color from that locality. So you're seeing a representation of one mining area, and it's a remarkable case. This caught my eye immediately. Even the celestine, colorless celestine being that large is quite something. So I call this a major one locality type collection, mostly known for the fluorite. Please note this is not your faded mason. Here we have a wonderful case of one type of quartz, most unusual. What they are, scepter quartz crystals, smoky in nature, from Hallelujah Junction, California and Nevada border. They're very close to each other. But what you have here is an assemblage of specimens that have been taken out over a period of time. And what's so remarkable about, you'll never see this. I've never seen but maybe one or two in a case, or one in a case, or a couple in the show, and what have you. So it's very unusual to see this many. Not only the quantity, but the quality of these specimens are nothing less than spectacular. Fabulous forms in here. Some of them are actually amethyst, like in the top shelf in the back row, you've got an amethyst over smoky quartz. So these are all wonderful scepter-type quartz. Then you have scepters and the regular crystals. Well, it's actually a scepter too. But this is a very, very unusual exhibit, and you'll probably never see an exhibit like this here at Tucson. I've never seen anything quite like it. The owner of that area has claims, what have you, and this was found in a period of, 2007 to 5 years. Most collectors love to have one of these in their collection. There's many great specimens in here. Okay, we have two cases I'm going to cover with you. We'll start with case number one. This is a large case here of magnificent fluorites of all various types from the Houston Mineral and Gem Society, and their nickname is called the Ham Group. And they got an unbelievable case of all different types of fluorites, and just to name a few, there's so many good ones in here, it'd take forever to name them all, but you've got a lot of very unusual pieces in here of fluorite, being that this is this year's theme for the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. There's a beautiful pink fluorite and muscovite, and that's from Pakistan. Those are very popular now, and they've been getting some wonderful pieces of that. Then you have the real deep red, reddish pink from France, and that's an extraordinary specimen, truly a museum piece there. Look at this shade of blue here, shade of green here. Look at that back there, phosphophyllite color. Look at the color of that fluorite in the back row there. Colorless fluorite right here. Remember I talked about the brown crystals from Ohio. There's a nice hand-sized specimen there. Colorless cubes there, like ice cubes right there. Then they do a wonderful job of cutting these. You get these custom facetors that do custom work much better than commercial cutting, and you can see the range of different cuts, different color, and the huge stone that weighs 620 carats, that round. Then you come over here. One that caught my eye, very different looking. It looked like it melded. It's this pink with a little bit of green on it, all crystallized, all complete, but it looks just like it was made out of wax and it just kind of melded. Very unusual type. Look at the size of that shape octahedron with the quartz crystal right next to it. That's a major museum specimen. Unbelievable quality. And once again, you get this green. Beautiful shade of green there. Now here's the next group, which is the Mad Group of Dallas. Another wonderful case of fluorites. Look at that green one back there. It's just a magnificent thing with a little bit, I believe it's calcite with it. No, it's quartz. It's a druzy quartz bottom to that. Very outstanding specimen. Here's one of these purple rounded type, spiritual type. That's what if you see this, you see more of the purple type than you do those other shades in that case there. Then here again, you got again in a larger cluster of the fluorite with the gray muscovite. But look at the color. You got peach and pink in that cluster. Very, very outstanding specimen. Then you got some in here. All these small ones are just very, very fabulous thing. See Pakistan, here's a French one, miniature. Perfect octahedron, cluster of them, intergrown octahedrons here from France. Here's an unusual shape here. This almost looks like a morganite, but it's actually a fluorite. A lot of people years ago used to mistake that before they had it tested and found out it's actually fluorite, not a morganite beryl. Very unusual habit in comparison to the other shapes. And then here's a killer French one on the albite crystal, feldspar. That is a truly fantastic thing because the contrast, not only is it good color, but the contrast is absolutely marvelous. That's a very, very major specimen. Everything's major. They're just beautiful. I love them all. And look at this beautiful green. Look at the shade of that, like an intense, once again, phosphophyllite green-blue color. So that just gives you an example what two of these cases in the show this year is, and it's put together by a lot of the private collectors getting together, working hard, put these on, and we're sharing it with the general public and all collectors from around the world at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. We're very pleased to get it on What's Hot in Tucson for 2013. Thank you very much. Being that fluorite is this year's theme mineral specimen, this is Harvard University's private collection, and there's some very unusual pieces in here. One in particular I caught is this fluorite of this intense, peachy, orangey red octahedron. And needless to say, you keep it as a mineral specimen, but that definitely has a very valuable large area near the termination going down into the cut, a very nice large stone. Not that you would cut it, but that's a very rare type to get that color. That's an intense color for a Switzerland fluorite like that. But this is just a fine arrangement of all different ones from different localities. And some of our most famous fluorites come from Rosy Clare, Illinois, and a couple mining areas in that general area. There's other areas in Missouri. We have New Hampshire back up there, the emerald green ones. Beautiful. Look at the color of the faceted stone there. Truly a golden orange like that from Cumberland, England. Cumbria, it is Cumberland, Cumberland County. But anyway, this is just a lovely assortment of fine fluorites from Harvard.
Yeah, I'm standing by an exhibit here at the Tucson show that I really think is unique. This is the 2013 show, and of all the exhibits, which are gorgeous, this show is the most unusual because it is a private collection that has been given to heritage auctions for sale. It's going to be auctioned off in June of this year, June 2nd as a matter of fact. And what it is an opportunity for all collectors, dealers and collectors alike, to have a chance to acquire some very, very fine minerals. This thing ranges from the very finest, the beautiful rose quartz, to some very, very inexpensive specimens like a Cavanzite and a couple of other things. And it'll give people a chance to really see what the mineral market is like. Today, the confusion over pricing and value of minerals can be clarified some by an auction like this. It's being run by the Nature and Science Division of Heritage, and that's managed by two of my very good friends, Jim and Mary Walker. Everybody knows them. They're a tradition in our hobby almost, and they really know their stuff about minerals. The thing to keep in mind is that the starting auction prices are going to be based on an appraisal and then cut way down to a beginning value, and then we let the market determine the true value of what these specimens have. Once that information is published, now you have a steady, dependable reference to determine prices of minerals. It's going to be a big help for collectors. Let me point out just a few of the specimens in this section of the collection. The collection has over 2,000 pieces, and what you're going to see here is a relatively small fraction, about 5% of the collection. And again, it ranges from very modestly valued specimens up to very exceptional specimens. This piece, for instance, this stibnite from France, it's remarkable. There are a few larger ones in this owned by the School of Mines in Paris, but you'll never see them on display. This is, for that locality in France, most exceptional. It's a very, very fine piece. One of the more beautiful pieces right here. We've seen plenty of these apopholites in nice balls, and some of them on little stilbite pedestals and things, but nothing like this angel. It's absolutely gorgeous. One of the finest that ever came out of the deposit. If we move on down, an exceptional specimen is in the center of this shelf. Two people owned parts of this galena. One person owned that, another person owned this. Someone suddenly realized, my gosh, it's one specimen. So whoever gets this in auction can put them together and have them as one piece, or can keep them separate as a novelty. That happens in our business quite often when a specimen is is obtained, and someone suddenly realizes, my gosh, that came out of the same pocket and is the same specimen as some other piece, and they can be put together. Right over here is a Caledonite from Tiger. Now, Tiger is world famous for its rare species. This is not an exceptional Tiger Caledonite, and it's a very nice one. It's the kind of specimen that a beginning collector would have a chance to obtain and add to a collection that can grow. So that's what I like about this entire function. A collector broke into a pocket at the Blanchard mine some years ago, and out of that pocket came a number of linerites. This is one of the exceptional pieces out of that pocket. Rumor has it there were one or two that had larger crystals, but no one knows for sure. That piece was, the poor collector, once he opened the pocket, was, I guess the local sheriff took a liking to the mineral specimens, so he took them away from the collector, but they eventually reached the market. A Legrandite, beautiful color. That's a very, very fine piece. For those of you who are familiar with the fluorite mines in the Midwest, in the back of the shelf here is a white benstonite on fluorite. Now, benstonite is a relatively uncommon mineral, and that is a most exceptional specimen. The crystals are large, it's a large cluster. You'll never see something like that available again, I'm sure. I'm very familiar with the glove pocket that was discovered back in the 50s. It was actually a small cave lined with specimens like this. This butterscotch glove wolfenite is very, very popular, very commonly seen now. Huge amount of it came out, and it's quite popular. And that's an exceptionally nice piece for its size. Down here on the lower shelf is a specimen of leotite that's named after a dealer from Africa. Again, the crystal is larger than average by a long shot. This is one of the largest, finest pieces of this mineral I've ever seen. Yet over here, just next to it, is a small apatite from Pakistan and a cavenzite from India. These are very average for the mineral. They're not exceptional. They're the kind of specimen that any average collector could afford in an auction, I'm sure. Very, very fine. Down on the lower shelf, the bottom shelf, the Buick Mine in Missouri, in the Viburnum Trend area of Missouri, produced a lot of these Pyrite Bars. They're really stacks of crystals that have formed in this bar shape, and almost all of them are singles. A few came out with 2 bars. This is an exceptional 3-bar group. I've never seen anything like that. It's just remarkable. An exceptional specimen for that mineral. One of the most popular and relatively uncommon quartz specimens that comes out of Brazil is rose quartz. They're still arguing over what causes the color, whether it's titanium or some clay, but it's a beautiful, beautiful rose color. This is an exceptional piece. It's much, much larger than anything I've ever seen before, with a halo of rose quartz around standard quartz crystal. Makes that a very, very exceptional piece. That is going to be a remarkable addition to anyone's collection, and you'll see it on auction in June. Next October, there'll be a second auction, and look forward to that. So this will be a series of auctions until that 2,000 specimen collection has been made available to every collector. A great opportunity to really get into the market.
Jesse.
Hi, Dave. How are you today?
Doing fine. And how are you doing?
It's been a long show. I'm tired, but it's been a good show.
Yeah, I bet you were tired after lifting this magnificent specimen in this case. Were you part of that setting this thing up?
Yeah. It took 4 of us to get the thing in there, but I was one of the 4, yes.
Yes. And give us a spiel on this, because that has quite a story behind it with Cal's mining operation.
Well, yeah. Last July, we were at the mine in the middle of another season mining for fluorite specimens, as we've done for each summer now for close to 15 years.
It's 15 years.
15
I can't
years now.
believe it.
I know.
It seems like it was like 5 or 6 or something. That's amazing.
But after a blast and mucked out the waste rock, we discovered another seam of fluorite showing, which is always what we're looking for. And we start excavating around the seam of fluorite, and usually it starts coming out in hand-sized chunks, maybe a little bit bigger. But this seam just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And after about close to 2 weeks of scraping mud away from around this thing, moving rock out from underneath it, we'd exposed a rock in the ceiling of the cavity. This thing was upside down.
Okay.
And realized that we were going to have a job on our hands getting it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Every step of the way I was wondering how we were going to do this, but somehow it all happened. We got it down, we got it boxed up, we got it shipped to California, we got it cleaned. We had to buy an animal watering trough to put this thing in to use chemicals to take out the iron stain and such. What you see here under incandescent light, it's largely green.
Yes.
You take it out into the daylight, it turns a bright blue just from the ultraviolet
from the sun.
in the sunlight itself.
Wow.
Phenomena we call daylight fluorescence.
Exactly. Well, it's a wonderful piece, and we're very happy you brought it here to the Tucson show. And what a piece to bring for the feature mineral of the whole show is fluorite.
It was quite coincidental that we got this on the year when the theme is fluorite.
Coming up,
here we
exactly.
are. Yeah, when Peter McGaw heard that we had found this thing, the first email I got from him was, "This is coming to Tucson, isn't it?"
Yeah,
he said,
better.
"Well, if we can get it down and out of there in one piece, it'll be here."
Fantastic. Hey, Jim.
Dave, good to see you.
Nice seeing you again.
Yep.
So how's everything going with you?
I've been busy, been mining here and there. I just finished a book on the fundamentals of mining for gemstones.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, it's a hands-on experience that I've over 40 years of mining, and I've worked all over the world. In the last 7 or 8 years, I've been teaching in Nigeria and Pakistan to help bring up their mining standards from their artisanal miners.
Very good.
And I see the same problems over and over again. The biggest one is their blasting techniques.
Exactly.
And they blast wrong. They leave deep boot holes, which are the portion of the hole that's left over after a blast. And then all the energy that what they focus in that blast goes right into the rock and shatters anything within a meter and a half of their hole. I talk about timbering techniques. I have underground railroad implementation techniques. I have a chapter, first chapter is on geology, so they can actually physically follow the right signs, especially in granitic pegmatites.
You believe that.
And I talk about mapping and thinking in 3 dimensions and how to think inside of a box. And then I go into practical mining applications.
I've never heard anybody in the entire field of mineralogy doing a project that you did in this book. It really sounds important.
I got a degree in geology, but I started mining in Pala. And I fell in love with the mining.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably not a good idea because there's no money in it, but I love what I do.
Good for you.
And I took it to the next level, and now I want to teach people on how to do it.
Good for you. That's great. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank
Jim.
you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
All right. Oh, your hand. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't hurt it.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
How you doing? Welcome back for 2013. What's hot in Tucson? And I see a crowd of students here, I understand, from Stanford University.
Yeah.
Give us a little spiel. What's all these visitors with nice smiles on their face?
So essentially a group of undergrads from the geology and environmental sciences at Stanford decided to road trip for 12 to 14 hours, depending on the speed of driving, down from Stanford to Tucson to see the biggest mineral show in the world. And the idea is to let them see what collecting can be, and hopefully I have 100% transition from non-collectors into full-blown collectors, because we have some that were already collectors.
So I would always go to the Madison Gem and Mineral Show in Wisconsin. And
Okay.
This is much, much, much larger, of course. I've been to some of the other hotel shows a few years ago.
Very good.
But this show is really
It's really something, isn't it?
I came here and I didn't know what to expect, and it's so much larger and it's amazing. And every couple seconds I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything semi-resembling that.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
Beautiful, and I definitely want to come away with a few new minerals.
Well, good for you. One very important question. Do any of you have any tattoos on your arm? Show your tattoo, every one of you. Where's yours? No, there. Okay. Well, thank you for visiting us, and Lauren, thanks a lot for. Oh, yeah, your poor arm. She'll go home saying this pervasive thing kept shaking my arm. Anyway, thank you very much for bringing them here, and enjoy. Mufaso, how are you?
Hello, hi Dave. How are you?
Nice
Good to see you
Last
again.
time I saw you was over at the Pueblo, and you showed us some wonderful minerals there.
Thank
and
you
I
very
heard you have something special to show us here.
This is large crystals of microlite
That's
combined
right.
with topaz, lepidolite, and albite.
Very good. That's beautiful. First of all, these are very rare to get anyway.
It's very
then
rare.
with the association.
With topaz,
Fantastic.
absolutely. Especially the size is really large for microlite.
Beautiful.
Usually you get a really small size,
Yes.
but you have this large microlite crystals association with topaz and
Yes.
albite, which makes it really special.
Large for this locality, but it comes larger in other parts of the world.
Exactly,
like,
yeah, for this
Virginia.
locality,
But this
absolutely.
locality, they're
Yeah.
huge because
And the-
usually you see them like that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and the association with topaz makes it more interesting because
Very
normally
much
it
so.
doesn't come with this association
right.
and this large size.
That's what's so exciting about minerals from this part of the world. They have so many other minerals with them to add to the beauty and rarity of the specimens. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a
It's
lot.
absolute
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice rock to you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Naomi, how are you?
I'm good.
You always have a nice smile on your
Thank
face.
you.
You're sweet. And I understand you're doing wonderful with your jewelry. It's a wire wrap type of jewelry that you're doing.
Cold fusion, wire woven.
Yeah. I wonder where these came from.
Looking at the world through rose-colored tourmaline.
It's really something that's totally unique. But anyway, why don't you explain? I see some beautiful pieces right here.
Yeah, I spend, this piece is over 200 hours of work. I weave each piece slowly, one link at a time. And I guess it's a newer art form. I've recently discovered that it's only about 17 years old, and we're actually writing a book about the evolution
Very
of
good.
this modern style of wire work.
Okay.
And I made the glasses as kind of a novelty item, and they've kind of taken off with the mineral community. As,
Oh, that's so
as
funny.
everybody should be looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, really, you know?
It's so funny.
And so better to be
Don't think I'm completely lunatic wearing them. It is something.
I thought I'd make one pair as a novelty item
Yes.
and done with it. And I've had so many requests. I'm actually looking for other
would
other
you
stones. I have another
that
pair of
is
rubelites
something.
lined up, and I have
Uh-huh.
a Ukrainian bicolor topaz.
Wow.
They naturally cleave, and so I have
Yeah.
naturally cleaved slices of Ukrainian bicolor peach and blue. That'll be another pair of shades.
Well, good for you. It's really funny.
Who would have thought that gem shades would be such a thing?
Exactly. Well, that's great, and Naomi.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much, and keep up the good
Thank
work.
you.
And you have a wonderful smile there. That's part of your success.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, what we have here is the Natural History Museum, Department of Earth Sciences, and it's from Cornwall, Devon, England. And there's a couple absolutely smokers in here as far as killer fluorites. First, I'll cover two specimens. The coloration of that flora in the back, I've never seen anything like that coloration. It's intense, it's beautiful, shades into the beautiful shades of green going into kind of a honey brown color, but that's an extraordinary color. Then just for white, all these blocky ones here, kind of whitish going into kind of a slight honey color, very unusual. But what's most unusual in this case that I would like to point out is a pseudomorph siderite after fluorite. These are extremely rare. There's very few of them in the world, and this happens to be an extraordinary example of it. Very hard to get these. All hollowed out. That was fluorite at one time. Then it changed over to siderite. It's a siderite after fluorite. Very difficult to get. Highly demanded by top collectors. Love to have that specimen. Okay, here we have the Natural History Museum, Los Angeles County, LA, and we not only have beautiful crystals in here, but we have beautiful cut stones of fluorite. Look at this one, an example, this one right there. What a golden color, and it looks like a flawless stone. Extraordinary stone. And of course, pink fluorite octahedrons, always highly demanded, usually the most difficult to get in collecting fluorite if it's pink and octahedron compared to other colors. Look at the color of this one. It's actually phosphophylite green colored. Looks just like a phosphophylite. Beautiful color to that cut stone. It's nice to show the rough and cut. I always believed in that. Okay, we have this small pony case, what they call a pony case size, but what caught my eye in this particular case, beautiful pieces in here, but the lighting in here, that purple, if that can be captured, that's just a very aesthetic purple fluorite, and the lighting has really hit it well. And the green one on the right side, it's just a lovely case there, miscellaneous specimens. It's real eye-catching. Okay, what we have here is a large, beautiful case of thumbnail specimens by a number of collectors that participated and grouped up and said, let's put a hell of a fine collection of thumbnails together. And what we have here is an assemblage from various dealers some of these collectors got from. Willard Perkins was best known for selling these little 1-inch cube thumbnail plastic boxes. He sold them by the thousands. It was one of his business. It wasn't the main business, but it was one of his businesses. But anyway, he's a participant here. So you have all different kinds. I'll give you an example. That thumbnail rhodonite is a killer because it's terminated, it's gem clear, it's a fine rhodonite crystal from Australia. That's a killer. Even the boleite on matrix, razor sharp, perfect. I can go on and on. It's just a lot of fine things in these thumbnails. Look at the linerite, the phosphophylite. Those two right there. Always, phosphophylite's always important. So there's a number of other things. That one in the back row, that she gate, right there, she gate there. That's a very unusual thing. Even a thumbnail rhodochrosite from Colorado. Look at that thumbnail sitting back there. Beautiful thing. And we just go on. We have study minerals further up here. Right in here. These are all catalog, crystal phases, numbered, and so forth. This is all scientific type work they did. And so this is a study collection of crystallography. Then we have more thumbnails, just to name a few here. Thumbnail benitoite, I can't remember ever seeing a better one. Absolutely a textbook crystal. Beautiful crystal. Lustrous, fine blue. It's the best thumbnail I've ever seen. Then you have those rhodochrosites back there, gem clear, that red color. That's the epitome of color from the Schwanning mine. If you get that color, that's the best color that ever came out of that mine. Most of them have a little deeper, more garnet type red. Those are truly a ruby red. Pyrox mangite down here. That's the finest Pyrox mangite thumbnail, let alone the finest Pyrox mangite I think I've seen, because it's that one large perfect thumbnail crystal. It's a killer. Look at even the dioptase available. Dioptase coming out like a cross like that. Most unusual. Very aesthetic. Corundum crystals. Sapphire, blue like that. Good shade of blue. Usually they cut these things up if they have any color at all in them, and here that was preserved, and it's a fine, fine cluster of these corundum crystals. Then you have native copper in the calcite, native copper on the outside. Now you notice the copper's oxidized, as very commonly happens when it's exposed to the air, and you notice inside the scalehedron calcite, it's vivid pinkish. That's because no oxygen has reached that inside, so it has the pinkish like you just cleaned it with acid, but no, that's natural. And to get a thumbnail of native copper in calcite, very difficult to get. That's a superb example. They're all good. It's just a nambulite. See that little nambulite back there in the back row, that red specimen? Any nambulite, and that's a lovely small thumbnail. Nambulite's a very rare mineral. That's two crystals growing together and they're jamming. It looks like they might have a little piece of matrix with it. That's a hell of a fine thing. I only wish I had time to go through all the specimens. I'm sure we're missing some of them. Here, parameliconite. Look at this. That's very rare to get a parameliconite, that thumbnail there. See, I like rarity as well as the common minerals and the beautiful minerals. I've always had an appreciation for fine, rare minerals. That parameliconite's a super thing. Very hard to get that mineral. Thumbnail, I've never seen one that good. The quality of that is phenomenal. And here's the participants here, if you can get this picture. These are all from these various collectors, and most of them are alive today. So that's a little bit from a whole number of collectors. You can see why this is so important, this collection, to be filmed.
You're looking at a case that was placed by Wayne and Donna Light. This is a case of native elements, and it's got platinum, it's got gold and silver and sulfur, all the native elements. There was a diamond intended for the case. Unfortunately, it didn't get here in time. But what you see here is marvelous. The golds are especially important where Wayne Light is concerned, because he has evolved into what I call California's expert on California history and gold, the gold mines. His personal collection, belonging both him and his wife Donna, is certainly equal to almost anything that's in private hands anywhere. You might say the same thing about the native elements. They're just marvelous. They represent, almost every known important source of native elements, and silver especially, Kongsberg, Chenarcia, Chile, all the mines, the German mines, all the mines that produced fine silvers over the past several centuries. One of the pieces that's worth taking a closer look at is up on the top shelf of the golds. It's a marvelous leaf gold. Those flattened leaves are probably distorted octahedrons, but if you look carefully or look at the photograph behind it, you'll see that there's a tree root sticking out of the gold. It actually grew through the gold specimen among the roots of the tree when it was found. And it's really quite a remarkable example of a near-surface specimen that was actually tangled in the roots of a tree. You hear a lot of stories about crystals being in tree roots, but that really is a fine example of that. Now, Wayne is going to tell us a little bit about some of the history of some of these specimens, because his collection really represents a cross-section of some of the greatest collectors we've had in the past 50 or 80 years.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll try to live up to that reputation.
Well, Mr. Gold is on.
Thank you. Well, let's start with gold. A good portion of these, especially those on the left-hand side, are all from California. And the one in the center is from California, the large one in the back, as well as the tree root specimen. Those are all California, different localities. That's Eagle's Nest down here and Red Ledge up there. Most of these are Eagle's Nest down here, except for that flattened leaf, which is from Sonora. The little one in the middle is actually from Australia, and very, very rare because it's actually a cube. And cubes of gold are extremely rare, and they rarely occur, but that's a nice, almost 2-centimeter cube of crystallized gold. We also have gold from other localities. The one on the far right over there is from Colorado. It's called wire gold, and from the Wire Patch mine near Breckenridge, Colorado. Right behind that are 2 gold specimens to the right and the left, which are from Romania. And that's one of the oldest sources of crystallized gold in the world, is from Romania. And then the one up above is one of our more recent ones that came from Round Mountain, Nevada. And then there's another smaller one down below here that shows really tiny, tiny wires. That's from Colombia. So that's in that suite of gold is represented about 4 or 5 different countries and localities. But the very, very best of crystallized gold comes from California. Some nice ones come from Colorado, and there's some Iranian sources, but basically California produces the finest crystallized gold in the world.
The second case is just a marvelous array of specimens from all over the world, and the beauty of this is that many of these specimens were formerly owned by collectors and dealers we hold dear to our heart. I mean, there are people represented here that were good friends for Wayne and myself and many other collectors and dealers. It's just a marvelous assemblage of historical as well as superb mineral specimens.
I don't know where to start. There's a lot of specimens in there. Let's start with these one over the left side here. That wolfenite, which appears on the cover of the mineralogical record, the Arizona issues, was found by Ed Over, probably about 1930. It passed from him into Arthur Montgomery, very famous man in the mineralogical circles, and then later to Dick Bedeau, who wrote the Handbook of Mineralogy, 5-volume set. And then he passed it on to me. So that has gone through 4 generations of collectors. The other one in the back there, the yellow one, not the extreme left, but more orangey yellow, that was Dick Bedeau's favorite specimen from a mine that he owned, the old Yuma mine, which is practically within the city limits of Tucson here. That was his all-time favorite specimen, and I think, as I recall, he dug that specimen. So a lot of memories associated with this group of specimens here.
I must say, Wayne, you've not only got a marvelous array of specimens from all over the world, but this historical representation of all of our friends and all of the people who have been in our business and done important things in our business really makes this a very, very special collection. I envy you.
It fleshes it out for me. I have a lot of pleasant memories. I don't know, when I pass away and it goes to somebody else, they often don't care. They could care less, but it's
well, you have the provenance of all this, and I'm sure it'll be documented.
It will
Absolutely.
be. Yeah.
Marvelous. Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it. Good stuff.
Good. Thank you.
Wendell.
Dave.
How you doing?
Good.
Congratulations is in order. You won 2 trophies this year. Can you tell us what happened? And your beautiful collection speaks for itself. You got fabulous. And so give us a little resume what took place.
Well, it was the Desautel's Award, which replaced the old Ed McDowell Award.
That is correct.
And then there's the single specimen competition. Every competitor gets to pick one piece that he wants to compete against the other competitors' single pieces that they pick out, and that's the Lidstrom Award.
Very good.
And this year I got both.
Has anybody ever done that?
It's happened a few times before.
A few times, okay. Yeah. Well, you have a beautiful assemblage of minerals, of miniatures, and mostly thumbnails, and it's a wonderful collection. Wonderful collection. And the phosphophylite as a thumbnail is the talk of the show. Everybody would love to get that phosphophylite out of it. It's perfect.
I don't see how it could be any better because it's exactly an inch.
Yes.
It's well balanced. The 2 twin sides are the same. It's not damaged. It's got a good color. And it has a little piece of matrix on the bottom.
I see that.
So it qualifies as a crystalline matrix.
That's right. Absolutely. No, it's a beautiful piece. Needless to say. Every one of them are very well selected. Got a lot of gorgeous things in there. One thing that caught my eye, and to this day I cannot pronounce the name, is that pinkish, salmon pinkish crystal there of the... how do you pronounce that?
I say it Varenanite.
Yeah,
but
something
I don't
like
know if that's right.
It's very hard, yeah. That's a mouthful. That is a gemmy crystal, and it's the prettiest colored one I've seen.
This Legrandite here,
a perfect thumbnail.
I think it was collected by George Griffiths back in the 60s.
Okay.
And he sold it to Susie Davis, the Arizona dealer.
Oh, yeah. Brooks and Susie Davis.
Yeah,
that
and her
goes
collection
back.
went to the Smithsonian.
That's right.
And the Smithsonian traded it out to somebody, I don't know who. He sold it to Len Bedale.
Okay.
Len died, and it went to the Minetz collection.
Oh,
and then I got it from the Minetz.
Very good.
The Londonite there, the yellow crystal.
Yes.
I think is a co-type specimen. Because it's actually pictured in the original description of the species.
Wow.
And the rock that I trimmed it off of, part of the crystal was left in the rock, and I donated that to Skip Simmons to use to study when they describe the species.
Very good. You have a childrenite there with a little bit of matrix, I believe, or is that just the stickum? Is that matrix?
That's matrix.
What's so fine about that, somebody was saying the other day, look at the huge childrenite. Well, I've seen them bigger, but I've never seen that rich, vivid color, perfect thumbnail on a whitish matrix. What is the matter? I don't have my glasses on. What is the matrix?
I think it's just feldspar.
Feldspar, okay.
Yeah. The rhodochrosite on the left there, that was in John Barlow's collection.
Oh, okay.
The magnesite next to it was in Carlos Barbosa's collection.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Most people don't notice it just looking at it, but the mimetite it kind of looks like a sume piece, but it's actually from Hat Yai, Thailand.
Oh, for
And
Pete's sake. That adds so much more when it's from an area you don't expect to find the mineral at. So that's from Thailand. Okay.
The halite, of course, is from that new discovery
find.
in Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Oh, talking, you can't get it more sharper than that. That is knife sharp. Absolutely perfect. What a color, too. So that's a fine thumbnail Brazilianite you got there.
Yes,
See
it's
two crystals together on the matrix.
cluster.
Very difficult to get those complete like that, especially in miniature size.
The Helvine, which is behind the Legrandite there,
yes,
is unusual in that it has such good luster. You know, almost all of those had a frosty or corroded
That's
luster.
right. That's beautiful.
The black one back here,
Yeah, what is
behind
that?
the
I was just
Odulite,
looking
that's
at
ferrokesterite.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Well, people thought it was stannite for a long time from that occurrence, and we took it over to the university and put it on the Raman spectrometer, and it turned out to be ferrokesterite.
Very good. Boy, that's fun when you get something like that.
Yeah.
Well, Wendell, congratulations. You did one hell of a job. Keep it up. Proud of you. That's great. William, how are you?
I'm good.
I understand you and I have met, but you're younger, and I just don't remember you because, you know, kids grow up so fast and everything. And I was told that you're very active with the mineral specimens, and you help out at the shows, and you build up a collection and what have you. So give us a few tips of what you've done.
For the last few years, I've been selling minerals out of my dad's collection.
Okay.
And I've purchased them recently
Okay.
out of his collection. And
When did you start collecting?
I started collecting when I was about 3 years old.
Very good, very young. How many minerals approximately do you have in your own collection?
About 30 to 40 minerals.
Very good, okay. And now you're selling minerals. Are these yours by any chance laying out
Yeah.
on the table?
Yeah.
So this is what you're selling right now. And you're having some success, I hear.
Yeah.
Very good.
Some of these
Okay.
rhodochrosites
Okay.
were mined by my great-grandfather in a
Okay.
Sunnyside
Very good.
mine in Colorado.
Very good. That's great. That's a thumbnail size. They call that size.
Yeah.
And that's from Uray, Colorado?
Um,
Silverton?
I think so, around that area.
That area, yeah. It looks like Silverton, yeah. Okay, and what other things do you have there?
I have some Halloween crystals.
okay.
It's a rare
Let me get
mineral
Nikolai.
from
Very rare mineral. Very good.
That
Beautiful blue color. You can spot these immediately. Yeah, that's very pretty. Okay.
Those are from Eiffel, Germany.
Okay, Eiffel, Germany. All right. What's your favorite mineral on the table here, would you say? If you had to choose one specimen, what's your favorite one?
Probably this Halloween crystal.
Yeah, because it's very rare.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And also the coloration.
That's right. It's very important.
I have a collection of business cards I wanted to show you.
Oh, I'd love to see them. Okay.
I have Rob Lavinsky's.
Oh, okay.
That's Mike Bergman's.
Okay.
Allyce Kosnar's.
Okay.
That's Robbie Bergman.
Yes.
Matt Bergman.
Well, that is really...
That is from the Sunnywood collection.
Okay.
Oh, right. That is right there. And then Kevin Brown's, you can't really see it, but it's indented in the
Oh, yeah, I
card.
see. Yeah, he does have it signed. I don't know anybody in the entire hobby that collects business cards. And that's a real plus for you. I can't think of anybody that collects business cards. They may have it because they deal with the people and everything, but you're making actually a collection of them. I think that's great. Keep up the good work.